Hi, hello everyone. I'm Chekanandan from Sri Lanka, working as a research data librarian, International Water Management Institute, Sri Lanka. Uh, you know, today, recently, the DSpace 7.1 version is released. Also, Viewfind also released the latest version of their version. So, here I'm going to cover installing the DSpace 7.1 and integration with Viewfind latest version. So sometimes this might be boring for the IT professional because the installation and integration part are very easier for IT professional. But in my point of view, the librarian point of view, this is a very difficult task for the librarians. The librarians are mostly the librarians are from the not from the IT background. So here I am majorly cover when I am installing new version. What are the error I faced? How can I rectify that one also? Well, as a librarian perspective, how can I achieve this very quickly and without any error? So in recently the DSpace 7 release largest version 7.1 version that's the it take too much time to release. And also there's a more than million 1 million code is edited. And they have two type of interface, user interface as well as a backend interface. And also JSPUI and XMLUI are not longly available. So each and every DSpace users uh, in must upgrade it in future to the latest version. And also we can use this version update from very older version to the new version, also support for the updated also. Here we find also release recently 8.0.1 major important features available, the CSV uploaded. So the main objective here, main features of the installation of the DSpace latest version, and the challenges faced, what are challenges faced in during the installation and configuration, and enable the OMPH in the DSpace as well as VM5, and also automate the Havast process index to the VM5. These are methodology. You can see installation of backend frontend, installation of viewfind, and enable OAI file and harvesting and indexing. Finally, automate that process. Automate the harvesting indexing process. So mainly, these are the major requirement for installation of the backend. So you have to have the Linux and Microsoft Windows, so Java 11, Apache Maven, Apache and PostgreSQL 11, Apache Solus, then Tomcat and Git. Here I am mentioning about one thing I need to mention about. If you have already installed the Java in your machine, you little bit careful to install the new version and enable to the new version, because in the backend 7.1 actually needs the Java 11, so latest version. So here you should check if you already installed Java version available in the computer. You should run this command and you can change it to the new version. This is also one of the major things I found while installing. So then Mangavin and other easy one. Another also very important one, the installing the PostgreSQL. If you install without any if you install it without any error, it's okay, no problem. But if you have faced any error once while installing the PostgreSQL, you should check your system code and system release. For example, if each and every Ubuntu or Debian have their release name. For example, here Focal, Bullseye, Booster. So according to that, you have to add your that PostgreSQL repository. So here the steps are here available. You can add according to that. If you have error, if you face any error, you can follow these methods and you can install very easily PostgreSQL. Here also you can see some additional setting in the PostgreSQL. That is a regular setup, giving some permissions to the DSpace user, giving some allowing some code network. domain. Also, you can mention here also give some permission to the user. Then you can restart the PostgreSQL. After that, when you are installing the Postgre, that automatically create the Postgre username. You can move the your Postgre username, and you have to create the database user, this way user for the database. So here you can create the database. You can create the database user like this with enable with your Unicode. Then you can move to that database user account, and you can give some information here. You can give a password for the database. You can write down or not down anything anywhere, because this will use for the future installation also. And you can give permission to the DSpace owner, uh, and also you need to install the crypto extension also. So then you can close it, and you can restart the PostgreSQL. These are the major things for the PostgreSQL. So only you have to follow this method. Then you can install the Apache Solr. So here this is a quick different from the earlier version. You can install several way. You can download Solr file and extract, and you can move it to the, just I am using OPT under the OPT folder. You can also you can use your in your system. So here you can create the folder, and you can give the permission to user, owner permission to the user. Then I can extract the file, and we can check start the Solr, and we can check in the interface also. You can if you run the Solr, it's working in, you can get in the browser like this interface. Then Tomcat. Here also there is several methods to install Tomcat. Here I am using under the up folder. I just download the Tomcat file and extract there, and also give the permission to Tomcat owner permission to the that folder also. Then I have to create a Tomcat service file also, the mentioning the Java version and some RAM consumption for while working Java. So this is also I can create the file under the system directory. So then we have to mention about encoding method and that ATT folder for the server.xml file also. So then I can load the Tomcat service and start, and we can check the status also. Then if you type in the browser, you can get this one, this interface for working or not in the Tomcat. Then we need to install Git also. Thereafter you have to download the DSpace release, new release, and you can extract that one, and you can mention here is very important. You have to you have to very clear and very carefully about what is the DSpace source folder, what is the DSpace installation folder. In my section under the root, the DSpace 7 is a source folder. Under the home, DSpace 7 is a installation folder. Then I have to do some give the permission to the installation for folder, and uh, need to edit some this way local config file. So that already the sample file is available under the directory. You can edit that file according to your installation information. Also here you can mention this with password that was earlier created, that you can mention here also. After that the installation after that the source folder, you can run the maven build command that will show like this after finishing every steps, that will show like this success. You can get the success message also. After that move into the DSpace install lesson. Then you can install and build install command, then that is also said success like this. Then the installation backend installation part mainly is finished. After that, you have to deploy the web server application. You can copy. There are several ways you can copy under the what are the home directory web apps to the Tomcat directory web apps. So you can give the Tomcat permission also. At the same time, you can copy Solr file under the Solr directory also. So then you can restart the Solr. You can restart the Tomcat. Then you can migrate the database as an initial step. You can normally we are doing this one. Also, you can create your own administrator account as well. After creating these all things, you can get the you will get the interface like this. This is the backend interface. When you run in the browser, you can get this interface. So then in the front end installation, so the requirement is NVM installation. The installation steps are here. Then node installation through the NVM. Then yarn installation. After that, Node.js also need to be installed. Then the PM2 is a optional one, but that is also very useful for in the future. So these are the front requirement. Here I have given the steps also. After the download the front end one. Actually, in the front end folder's name is very big, little bit longer. So you have to minimize that name, and I just minimize the name dspace 7 Angular and move to the all the file to that folder. Here also very important to create a environment.product production file. You can mention backend and front end information here like this. You can here SSL false and localhost, because I am checking this both in a single my machine, single localhost server. So that's why I mention SSL false, SSL false. If you have the production domain name with HTTPS enabled, then you can mention this here SSL true, and you can mention the host name also. Here I both UI and to both interface are I'm using the same local machine, so that's why I mentioned SSL is false. After that, you can move to that folder and you can start yarn, but it takes too many times. First time starting. Also, each and every time if you want to if you want to run the dspace in user front end, you have to start this one. For avoiding this one, very easily you can create a JSON file mentioning your installation folder, and using PM2. That's why we earlier we was installed that one. So you can just PM point to your location, and you can just start PM2 start dspace that JSON file. So that will automatically start your front end. So if you want to stop, you can stop and you can start. This is a very easy method rather than using Jan start. After that, you can access your dspace front end interface. Here I created you two communities and add record also. So then enable OMPH in the dspace interface. We need to enable the OMPH interface. So for that purpose, I just uh, run the command under the dspace installation folder under the bin. You can run this one, so it will show like this. Your OMPH is started, and your OMPH interface get all the record from the dspace. But here each and every time if you added the record, you have to run that command. So avoiding that, you can create a small cron job, like you can mention the time period, and you can mention what are the command you need to run. So it will automatically, if you add one record in the dspace, it will automatically add to the OMPH interface your record. After that, you can check your OMPH interface, like if you type in the browser like in this command, you can check your OMPH interface. Then you can click set record identify. You can check it's working or not. Each and everyone is it's working perfectly if you run that command, or if you set cron job. After that, we have to configure the view find also. under the viewfind, under the Avast directory, there is a file oni.ini. We have to configure that file according to our DSpace interface. So here you can configure like this. I already give that screenshot also here. Then there's a method you can use manually. You can under the Avast folder you can run php Avast oni.php, or then you can index that harvested record in the another coding. But each and for example, if you add the record in the DSpace, then you need to run this command in each and every time the viewfind also. Here in the screenshot given the script, this is a script running under the Avast folder. No need to run each and every time in the viewfind. If you set up a script like this, automatically the harvesting for the DSpace indexing to the viewfind also automatically happen through this script. So for that purpose, I can add another cron job for the viewfind harvesting and indexing. So that is a time you can mention the time period each and every day, or as a week or month you can mention here. So after that, this is the interface of the viewfind. You can check article and thesis harvested here, two article thesis, and also you can check the search field, search results also available here, thesis and article, and you can click a specific record that will show the metadata of that particular record. If you click that particular record, that will direct to the your local host DSpace record. So as a conclusion, so as a result of this practice, you only need to add record in your DSpace repository interface system. After that, that will automatically import to the your OMPH interface. Then that will automatically harvest by viewfind interface and automatically index into the search interface also. So this is only one manual work is there. You need to add the record in the DSpace. That is also that is not, we can't make it automated at the record. So you need to add the record in the DSpace interface. That will automatically harvested and indexed into the viewfind interface. And also you can adapt this as a practice in your institution, and you can give the better services to the user as well. And also mainly the most of the studies are mentioning uh, IT related concept of installation, but here actually I'm mainly covered to the library professional and the librarian, because when I meet librarian in the universities, they are struggling very much to installing the DSpace and harvesting this type of process. They are very much struggling. So that's the reason I tried and I share my experience with you all. Thank you.